A boy called Bat. There once was a boy named Bat. His real name was Bixby Alexander Tam. He had an older sister named Janie and a mom who was a veterinarian. His sister was his babysitter, but unfortunately, she ate all the Venmo favorite yogurt. He told her to give him peanut butter with the red crust on. Chapter 2. Bat went to his room after he had a snack because his favorite place in the world was his room. Every time Bat's room was messed up, it would be his fault because no one messed up his room except him. Bat would have a sign on his door that would say, "Please not," which would be written by his sister Jane because she is much neater. Bat loved the word miscellaneous. Unfortunately, his mom made his drawer neat, which he didn't like because he already made it neat. Chapter 3 and 4. Bat was home and he was waiting for Mom. Time passed. Now it was 5:15 and Bat wanted to call the police because Mom usually came at 5. And she did not come, but then after some minutes Mom drove into the driveway. So Bat ran inside like a speeding Russian bull. When Bat was outside, he said, "Mom, you're late. Oh, and by the way, do you bring more vanilla yogurt?" And Mom said no. And in no time, Bat started to rage. So then Mom said it was because of a baby animal. Then Bat said, "What?" When Mom came inside, Janie said, "You're late." But then Mom said, "I brought home a baby animal." As soon as Janie heard that, she leaped out of her chair and ran to her and said, "Is it a cub?" Mom said no. Chapter 5. When Mom brought the box, she told Bat to open it. As soon as Bat opened it, he was confused what it was. Until Mom said, "It's a kid." "A skunk kid?" said Bat. "Yes," said Mom. Bat was really surprised and Janie was really confused why she bought a skunk kid. But then she explained why it was. Because they called the mom a skunk and it died. She wanted to bring the baby orphan skunk to the animal shelter, but it was busy, so she had to wait. Bat said, "Why not put the skunk kid in the animal shelter now?" Mom said, "We have to wait a month because they're busy for a month." Bat and Janie said at the same time, "Fine," so they kept it. Chapter 6. Janie asked, "Can it spray?" Mom said no, because it is a baby. Only adults can spray. Bat didn't know a lot about skunks. The only thing Bat knew about skunks was that they spray a stinky stench, also that they were mammals and they were omnivores. So Bat wanted to learn more of skunks. Bat said, "Let's feed it some food like pizza or hamburgers." Mom said, "We don't feed it pizza or hamburgers. We feed it formula, but we can't feed it skunk formula because there is no such thing as skunk formula." Bat said, "So what do we feed him?" Mom said, "We feed him puppy formula." Bat said, "By the way, that skunk kid is cute." The mom said, "By the way, we can only keep it for a month." Bat was very concerned. Chapter 7 and 8. On every other Friday, Mom drove Bat to school, and at the end of the school day, Dad picked him up and brought him home. Bat's school was dismissed earlier than Janie's school. On every other Friday, they would go to Dad's apartment for the weekend. He was supposed to be happy, but today he wasn't. Today he wanted to be with the skunk kid at Mom's house. He even begged and also pretended to be sick. But since Mom's a vet, she still knows about humans, so she checked inside Bat's mouth to see if there was any sore throat. But when she checked, she saw nothing but lies. After some hours, it was time to go to school. They went into the car and pressed on. When they were at school, Bat came out. But as soon as Bat came out, his mom said, "You forgot something." Bat said, "I got my lunch, my water bottle, and my snack." Mom said, "You forgot my kiss." When Bat was at the window, but then Mom snatched his head into the car and said, "Bye, little Bat." Then she kissed him on the cheek. When Bat was at his door, Mom honked the horn 3 times loudly to say goodbye. When Bat was inside the hallway, he wanted Janie at the school because it would be good to see her at lunch and snack. But then he quickly forgot, so he kept walking. Then he saw his friends, Luca and Israel, but then he passed by them. Then he saw a couple of big 6th graders playing with a ball. Then he said to them, "You're supposed to play with a ball outside." They said, "It's a special ball." Bat had an awful feeling that they were lying, but he passed by them. Then he saw Luca and Israel again. They were talking for a while until Bat embarrassed her. Israel started crying and ran into the girls' bathroom. Then Mr. Grayson, his teacher, walked up to him and was talking to him. But Bat completely ignored him and would look at his shoelaces. But then Mr. Grayson said, "Bat, why do you do this?" Bat said sorry. Chapter 9. Bat thought Mr. Grayson was a great teacher because he always said, "You don't have to say sorry." And he also said, "If you are hungry, feel free to get your lunch." The thing Bat loved the most about Mr. Grayson was that he had a pet named Baby Cakes. Baby Cakes was a cute and cuddly fuzzy Angora. But Bat liked the skunk kid more than Baby Cakes. Suddenly, the teacher yelled, "Stop!" Everyone was silent. Then he said, "We are going to play payday." Bat didn't want to. He wanted to cuddle with Baby Cakes. Bat thought Mr. Grayson wouldn't mind. But he said, "Bat, 5 minutes." Bat said, "Fine." After 5 minutes, Mr. Grayson said to Bat, "Time's up." Bat had to let go. But before he left him, he said bye. Chapter 11. Sport, said Dad. Bat didn't like being called Sport. He liked being called Bat because he studied about animals. He watches animal shows and he loves animals. Bat liked his name because his first name, Pixie, was his mom's last name. Before she got married, Bat's middle name, Alexander, was his dad's middle name. All 4 of them, Mom, Dad, Janie, and Bat, were Tams. Even though they didn't live together in the house, the rain turned into mist, and Dad had his windshield wipers on. Dad was driving home, but then Dad thought something was wrong. Then he said in a loud voice, "You forgot Janie." So he turned around and drove to her school. When they got Janie, they went in the car and Dad started the car. But then Dad said we should go to the Coco. Coco was Bat's favorite hot chocolate restaurant. So they all yelled yes. So then Dad said fine, and they drove there and settled for some coffee. Chapter 13 and 14. First, Bat was eating tea with peanut butter and crackers. Mom gave Bat and Janie a cup of tea. Bat said, "I wonder if Stripey would like this." Janie interrupted and said, "You call the skunk kid Stripey?" Bat thought it was a really good name. So he said, "I like that name." Mom didn't think it was a good idea to name the skunk kid. Janie said, "Besides, who let you name the skunk kid? I bet I could think of a better name than Stripey." Bat stabbed a knife into the peanut butter jar and said, "No, you couldn't." Janie said, "You always want dumb, obvious names." Bat felt sharp, hot kid, but he didn't want to tell Janie. Janie said, "I got an idea. Why don't we name it Thor?" Mom said, "Okay," and Bat said, "Fine." Then Bat said, "I want to sleep next to Thor," but Mom said, "No, I want to sleep." But suddenly he woke up. Janie said, "I'm glad people don't sleep like skunks." Her hair was wet from the shower. She was also wearing her favorite pajamas. Bat said to Janie, "Do you know I heard of unicorns are called a blessing?" Janie replied and said, "Of course I know that." And she went into her room. So Bat kept on begging. Mom said in a firm voice, "No." Bat kept on begging until Mom said, "Fine, I do nighttime shifts and you do daytime shifts. But today you get to come with me in the clinic." Bat said, "Deal." Finally, Bat went to the clinic. Chapter 15 and 16. When Bat was in his room, he was supposed to be sleeping, but he wasn't. Instead, he was awake. Bat wanted to learn more about skunks, so he got his encyclopedia and flipped to the S page and saw skunks. He was reading the facts in his head, but he decided to read the last one out loud. According to Dr. J. Dragoo, while skunks do not make good pets, what makes a good pet is a good caretaker. Bat wanted to meet Dr. Dragoo, so the next morning at recess, when all the kids were out, Bat was waiting for Mr. Grayson. So then he would ask him an important question. When Mr. Grayson was at his desk, Bat said, "I want to talk to the world's skunk expert, Dr. Dragoo." So Mr. Grayson let him type. Chapter 17. Bat loved going to Mom's clinic because as he sat at the building, it showed her name like she was a celebrity. Janie didn't like the name. She preferred something else. So far, she thought of the Fiery Friends clinic, paused for a moment, veterinarian, nose to tail, and everything in between, and her favorite, the hospital. Just as Janie ended her sentence, Mom opened the door and said to Bat, "You can help Lawrence give the bath to the animals." So Bat went in the room. Then he saw Lawrence and said to him, "Can I supervise her?" Lawrence said yes. So Bat was supervising Lawrence if he had put too much soap. Lawrence got a poodle and put it into the bathtub. Lawrence put shampoo on the dog. While Lawrence was scrubbing the dog, hated it so much he jumped out of the bathtub. Lawrence was 1 inch away from getting the dog, but he slipped and fell on the floor. As soon as Lawrence fell on the floor, the poodle went to him and licked him on the face. Chapter 18 and 19. First, Bat was still at the clinic, but just then the skunk woke up. When Lawrence was finished giving a bath to an inky spaniel, Bat yelled, "Thor's waking up!" So Lawrence opened the sling, and together they fed him. Until Mom called for dinner, so Bat ate his dinner and slept. 5 nights later, Bat did a nice thing for Janie. This is what happened. Mom said, "Janie, have you seen the top part of my unicorn pajamas?" Mom said, "I did all the laundry. That was in the basket." Mom also said, "Why would I wash the bottoms if the top was in the basket too?" That's when Bat said, "I got it from the dirty laundry basket and give it to the skunk so it can recognize you." Janie started to rage and yelled to Bat, "Give me my top back." Bat ran to the cage and grabbed the top and ran back to Janie to give her the top. When Janie smelled it, she yelled to Bat, "This smells like wild animal." Bat replied and said, "But you always smell like wild animal." Janie slammed to her room and Bat started to cry. Then the mom came to Bat and hugged him and said, "You can do the laundry with me." So then Bat went to the laundry room and Bat started to feel better. Chapter 20. In the first place, Bat was having a hard time doing his math because he couldn't focus. Usually math problems were easy and Bat asked for more problems. Today he didn't even start his first problem because he had too much things in his mind. The first thing he had thought in his mind was that he still hadn't heard a reply from Dr. Jerry Dragoo, world skunk expert. Another thing he thought was that there should be a time of the school day where there is something called skunk time, where Everyone in class did research about skunks and wrote reports of skunks and built skunk dioramas. Another thing was that when Bat comes home, he has to keep begging to his mom before 2 more weeks or the rescue team would take Thor, because before long he thought of another negative thought was about Lawrence. If he had Thor, he might do a lot of bad things to him, like if he wanted to get some ice cream but forgot to lock his door and a thief came and stole the skunk kid. Finally, Bat cleared his mind and started to work on his math problem. Chapter 21 and 22. The only thing Bat liked about Dad was that Dad liked going to the candy store as much as Bat did. Bat's favorite candy store was Sugar Shack, and Bat was lucky because today he was going there. Dad pulled their bicycles out of his garage, which is very big and usually crowded. When they were out on the streets, they were biking until they found Sugar Shack. When they were inside, they saw bins full of M&Ms separated into colors, and in the back were a lane of gummies. Big barrels of hard candy. They decided to buy some candy. Then when they were at home, Dad got to the couch to watch baseball while Bat was telling Janie to let him braid her hair. Janie was so annoyed, so she had to say fine. Bat yelled yes. When he was braiding her hair, he remembered the nod she did, so he did it that way. Finally, Bat realized that it wasn't the same as being at home. Mom wasn't here, Thor wasn't here, but maybe every other Fridays, weekends could be okay. Chapter 23. Some days Bat was the first person awake, but usually Mom was, because she was a morning person. Usually when Bat woke up, he would go straight to the kitchen to find Mom sitting at the table with a cup of coffee and a book. But every now and then Bat woke to a completely quiet house, a sleeping house. Bat went to the skunk kit. He got the pouch, put him in the pouch, and fed Thor the formula. When it was morning, Mom walked out of her bedroom and surprisingly saw Bat awake. Bat, Mom said, "Why were you awake so early?" Bat said, "Because I needed to feed the skunk kit." Suddenly, Bat and Mom saw Thor's eyes open. Bat yelled, "Thor's eyes are opening, but it's hard to see." "Then why don't you look at my eyes?" Mom replied. So Bat looked at Mom's eyes. Mom laughed and kissed Bat's forehead. Chapter 24 and 25. Bat asked Mr. Grayson, "You got a reply, but you can only read it at recess." Bat said, "Fine." A snack. Bat went to Mr. Grayson's laptop without hesitation and checked the email. Right behind him was Israel. Bat asked, "What are you doing here?" Israel replied, "I'm curious about this Dr. Dragoo Jerry you're talking about." "It's Dr. Jerry Dragoo," Israel said. Bat. Anyways, let me read the email, said Bat. When Bat was done reading it, Israel said, "Can I come to your house?" Bat said, "I don't know. My mom has to confirm it." When Bat was home, he told Mom if he could let Israel to his house. Mom said, "Sure." Then Bat said, "Can I keep the skunk kit?" Mom said, "Fine." Bat wanted to jump, but since the kit was in his pouch, he just said, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Janie. Thank you both." Chapter 26, final chapter. Bat was thinking of what Israel liked, but had an awful thought that he would want to play with the skunk kit. When Israel came to Bat's house, he said, "What would you like to do?" Israel said, "I want to play with the skunk kit." Bat said in his mind, "Oh no." Mom said, "Honey, let Israel." Bat said, "Fine." Bat said, "Come with me to my room. You can go in first." They went to the enclosure and opened the trapdoor. As soon as Israel got the skunk kit, Bat said, "You might drop it." Israel said back, "Don't worry. I'll go on the ground then." Bat said, "Okay." Israel held Thor up and said, "This feels soft. This feels comfy. This feels great." Bat said, "Okay, now put him in my sling." Bat and Israel came in the kitchen to go in a different room, but when Bat looked at Mom, he saw her waving. Bat said bye. Mom, finally, Bat went to his room to hang out with his friends. The end.